I'm probably going to chop some off in the beginning here, but okay. So just to preface, we are about to have our exit interview. We worked together about a little over a month ago. And so we're going to do this kind of exit interview style. I just wanted people that maybe potentially wanted to work with me in this capacity to know like how it really went. And there was just so much that we did that I felt like a back and forth dialogue on it might be a little bit easier, because it was so much, it was overwhelming, I think, for everybody. Which isn't a bad thing. Like business, there's a lot to it, you know. But so first of all, do I have your guys' permission to I just hit record and share this with potential clients?
Yes.
And know that if there's a detail, like we don't need to share very specific data details about your business. So if there's something, don't feel pressure to share anything beyond what you're comfortable with.
Okay, sounds good.
So just for some context too, for whoever might be listening, before I dig into the questions, and I mean, this is super casual, it's no stress. I'm asking my questions right from my phone here. Tell me a little bit about your business. Like, what are your main services? How long have you guys been in business? A little bit about your current team, things like that.
Okay. I got this one, Caroline. So me and Caroline are business partners and sisters. I started the business at the end of 2019, officially formed it at the beginning of 2020, right into the madness of COVID. And Caroline came in full-time as a partner May 2023. Mm-hmm. Okay. And basically what we do is we are a digital social media marketing firm. So we are focused on touch points to the customer. It's everything except for websites, where your girls, email marketing, organic social media posting, all the things. We do things a little differently. We have an in-house team and we meet every day. So we work full-time in an office. So we work 8:30 to 5:30 every day, and we have account managers who manage the actual day-to-day operations of our accounts. So I primarily work in sales. Caroline is my COO, so all things organization, optimization, processes. And then we have a senior account manager who's kind of the in-between me, Caroline, our account managers, and our clients. And then we have our account managers who are actually servicing the clients, actually producing the work, making the posts, answering the comments. So right now we are a team of 5 with 2 interns for the summer. So that's kind of fun. Work with some fresh people out of college, but we have 1 senior account manager, 2 account managers, and then we also have an ads manager who just works on our paid advertising.
Nice. And I think one thing relevant too is that like, so basically you were doing this all on your own, Logan, until your sister got in, and now you guys are like COO and CEO and COO basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about like learning how to mesh our 2 brains that think very differently.
And then really it's just this year. So we're sitting at May of 2024, but you guys really just started bringing other team members on this year. Well, when did the contractors you started last year, you were with contractors?
Yeah, so we would have contract employees. We've been having contract employees since 2020. So I started in like January, and by June or July, we had contract employees. Okay. But there was really no onboarding process at all. So I was going from managing all the accounts to just like servicing, helping, like basically just teaching the basics to college students who would help me just like get the basics done. But I was still overseeing all strategy and ideas.
Yes. And then this year you started hiring in-house employees and all of that. And then obviously there's a lot of growing pains and stuff that comes along with all of that. Okay.
Yes.
So what were the initial reasons that you, like, I know the first thing you asked me was just, do you have a project management system you recommend? Which I said Monday. Yeah. But what was like the real pain point that you felt you were having in your business? Like what was holding you back that you asked me that question and then that you then asked if I help with it?
Yeah. So Monday.com first got like, it tweaked in my head this one time because I was meeting with a PR agency here in Birmingham about collaborating and how we can work together to be referral partners. And they used Monday.com to work on just overall project management systems. And it really piqued my interest because I was like, how can we automate some of the things that we are doing manually right now that are not only taking a lot of time, but also a lot of brain power? Or it's just there's room for human error. And that was just kind of frustrating. What I didn't realize is that there was so much more we could do. And I know we'll talk about it, but you and I had a call to kind of have a similar conversation of, hey, we've both know each other. We know we've both been around since 2020. We've both seen each other in the hub, but now that life's getting back to whatever semi-normal looks like and not the crazy spikes of COVID and COVID-based business, how can we work together to continue to collaborate best for our clients? And we were just chit-chatting, and you brought up Monday that you guys use that. And I was like, ooh, can that automate things that you do? And you were like, oh, yeah, let me make you a quick little video, show you these few little things. And my mind was blown. I literally called Caroline into my office and I was like, watch this video. This is the coolest thing ever. Just all these things it does for you. And I didn't know at the time that you would even be interested in helping us build the service.
Neither did I at that time.
Yeah. And so I reached out to a company that I just found on Google, and I had a 20-minute intro call. They're based in the UK. So this guy was literally up in the middle of the night, and he was like, yeah, I'm sure we could do this for you. Here's our rates, whatever. But he's like, what do you really want your program to do? And I was like, I don't know. I don't even know what's possible because it's so far past my skill set or my knowledge, or just even I don't even have time to do that. Excuse me. I don't even have time to do that research to figure out what do I even need? What do I need this to do? And how do things work? And so it was kind of a blessing because he never sent a quote, and just kind of ignored me, and that's fine. And you and I had talked about it, and you were like, this is actually something I've been thinking about doing. Let's talk about it a little bit more and see how I can help you guys. But without you really diving into our business and what we're doing and what our operations look like, I really don't think we would have ended up with nearly the same product. I mean, we might have had something to automate one thing here and there, but for what, you want to invest into your business, it wouldn't have done anywhere near.
That's why when you came back and you were like, okay, do you help with this too? Or I was kind of like, well, that's kind of a loaded question because it's not like I can just set up Monday for you. I need to dig into your business. And that's why we got on a call, and I was pretty much just like, we could talk a little bit on this call, but if you really want my help, if you're really down, I need to just fly over there and dig in with you. So that was basically, that's what we did. Mm-hmm. So, which is kind of what I was going to say next. So for even more context, this is how it happened. And I literally flew to their office in Alabama to work with them for one very full, very long week. And essentially, so even though we were going to set up Monday, the tools and systems that another business might need may be different. We also set up another, we set up a Zapier, a Calendly, which we didn't quite get to fully setting up, but it's there's so many different tools and systems that a business can use. Monday is just part of the work together, but we really needed to do the deep audit before we even got to that part.
Yeah, I mean, we worked for 2 days before we even talked about anything other than just operations and how the business runs. And those 2 days were hard. Those were mentally draining. But in retrospect, I understand why we had to do that digging. And I knew it in the moment. I was like, this is going to pay off. But then understanding how you brought all those pieces together is truly what, to me, brought so much value of using you and your team.
Yes. So the next question I was going to ask is, okay. So basically I came for a week. I did a full deep audit of your business. And then I did actually in that week somehow set up the whole new project management system and several dashboards to start tracking things, some super important metrics that you guys weren't able to easily track, or sometimes just not at all able to track. Yeah. So the questions are about our week together, as well as your time since then. This is just our second support call. We're going to have a couple more, and then also plans for the future. So the first question is, did you find the week I was with you, kind of already answered a little bit, but did you find the week I was with you valuable? Pretend that I wasn't even able to in that week set up Monday yet. And the dashboards. As an audit alone, do you feel like I really understood your business and your challenges, and that I offered you great feedback and suggestions? Did you learn from that week?
Yeah. I'll let Caroline, do you want to touch on this one?
Yeah, it was honestly a part of the process that I wasn't expecting, honestly. But without it, like Angela said, like she wouldn't have been able to do all the things that she did within Monday. But also, like it got things out of our team that Logan and I weren't able to. It was just having an outside person come in and get those answers or ask those questions for our team that helped us, grow different areas of our, or like, redo our onboarding system or things like that. So that part of the week was very valuable for us, not even from like a Monday standpoint, just as a business as a whole.
It's always nice to have someone who doesn't know your business come in and say, here are the questions I have. And then you go, oh yeah, I don't know. It's just, we haven't always done it because we thought it was necessarily the right way. We've just been in survival mode. And we're so thankful, like our business grew faster than we could set up processes. And I wish Caroline had been able to come into my business from the first 6 months because I put so many things in motion that I felt like I was always having to put out fires versus really being able to think about things and say, what's the best way to set this up? And while I hope my clients didn't feel that, I know my team did. And I don't want people leaving work exhausted every day or feeling like they're drowning every single day. Like, of course, everyone's going to have a hard day at work sometimes, but that should be 1% of your year. And that's not how I felt my team was reacting.
Yeah. And I think it was just like being able to dig. It's not just like the third party's perspective that has experience, but also like, I mean, basically that's it, but it's like seeing things in a different way, like knowing those things that you don't know, and because you guys, I remember I had that like 3-hour meeting with your team that was making you guys pretty nervous because it was like, what on earth are they telling Angela that like they're not telling us, because we tried to get feedback, but it's sometimes it's knowing which questions to ask, knowing like how to dig even deeper into that and stuff. And like I learned a lot about myself and like what I'm capable of helping with too that week, because like I realized like how much I do have to like wisdom that I have to offer, and
absolutely. Well, and it's even like we sent out an anonymous survey like 2 weeks before you came. Like, what can we ask our business consultant who's coming in? How can we make your life better? And we got, little things. And then really those little things all stemmed from bigger issues that Caroline, we've never had a boss. I went straight into working for myself and Caroline did the same thing. And yeah, we had these little odd jobs here and there, but like we never worked corporate or we never worked in these big, small businesses. And so having someone who's had that experience to say, like, here are the questions that I've been asked and I find value in, because we want our team members to feel heard. Obviously, like that's why we sent out the anonymous survey, but we didn't know what to ask. We didn't know how to probe for those answers.
And neither did they, and that's the whole problem. And so like, and even when they have a problem, they don't realize there's more of a root to it either. If nobody does, then we never get to the root of it,
Right. And while it was kind of hard sometimes to hear things that like I know me and Caroline both got a little frustrated because it was like, well, we just asked and you didn't tell us all these things. And now you have 3 hours worth of things that don't get better. In hindsight, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad we did that. Even though it hurt that Tuesday night a little bit, it stung a little bit because you're just like, that was a lot of information. And
we take our businesses so personally. We put everything,
Right. And like anyone who's looking to use you cares about what they're doing. Anyone who's sitting here watching this cares about their business, or they wouldn't be considering bringing you in. And so it hurts a little bit because you've put so much time and effort, and I'm really trying to make people feel heard. But like you said, if you don't have someone knowing how to ask and then how to break that down even further from just the initial ask, I think it's really valuable.
Yes, absolutely.
And we haven't even set up a system yet, notes from that conversation.
So obviously I sat down with your team too, of course. I'm curious. I mean, I know that they said some as I was leaving, but did they have feedback for you on our time together as well?
Yeah, I think the biggest feedback we heard is that they were really excited. They felt very motivated moving forward. Which is exciting for me to hear. Like, I'm excited that you're excited, like that makes me excited. And I think overall people were just, I keep using the word excited, but I really think that's the right word. Like they were hopeful for what was to come because we were really listening to them and building systems that were not going to add additional things. And that was one thing I was worried about, is like, I don't want my team members to say, well, here's another thing I have to do.
Yeah.
Or here's one more thing on my list.
Yeah.
But instead they were leaving feeling empowered. They know that they're, these are the tasks that need to be done, but how you lay out your day, that's up to you. That's your job. You're an adult. You can make those things happen. And we have a lot of young team members. We hire straight out of college. That's, our typical average employee is 22. So it's a lot of coaching, but to be able to have the tools to coach them based on metrics and data, not just, hey, I think you might be working a little slower than your team member. It allows them to understand, oh, well, she's not just like, stalking me. This is what the data looks like, and here's how I can be better and how I can grow. And I tell them, I hope you're with us 20 years, but if you're not, how can I prepare you to be the best you can be at your next job? And I think Monday gives us the data to really pull those pieces together.
Yes. And also, like, just with the team members, what was I just gonna say? It's just getting them, like, one thing I hope that I like instilled in you guys is that importance of the buy-in of your team, like making sure they understand like why these things are important, why these things are in place to make it better for everybody, and so like it's not all about like these new systems are going to happen and you just have to do them, and like like it's like a collaborative process so that everybody is bought in and believes in it and is excited about it. And so because
at the end of the day, if they're not excited about it and they're not bought in, that's something like you really stress to us. It's like, who's going to do it? Why would they take extra time to do something that they don't understand why? And I think, like, I know for me, when I was managing just like our outside consultants, is like, they are, just hired to do a task. They're not hired to build a relationship necessarily with you or your client. And that's one thing that I really had to work on, helping my team understand why I'm asking them to do something, and it's not just a because I told you so situation.
Yes.
Because like that's not, I understand that that's not the right way, but I didn't realize how much people are motivated by understanding why they're doing something. Did you, Caroline? Because I didn't. That's one thing I didn't really realize.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm moving around. This is so casual that my battery was about to die. Okay. So we're almost done here though too, but okay, let's see. So I think one takeaway for all of us was just how intense work like this can be. Change is hard, and as fast as we may want it to go, it does take time to implement everything. So while we did set up a brand new project management system a bit over a month ago now, I know you're still getting comfortable with it. We're still having support meetings. But how is it going? Like in terms of not just Monday, but like the other things we went over and how you have implemented that.
Yeah. Caroline?
Really, really well. Like I mentioned to you earlier before this, Angela, we are able to make like, not like necessarily like solely on Monday yet, because we're still getting all the data, but business decisions that they're not wrong. Like yesterday I was doing something manually on a different platform and it was so wrong. So it was human error. But Monday was able to provide the best, or the accurate number, because it wasn't human error. But we were able to cut a lot of expenses by using Monday. We were able to cut a lot of different platforms, which overall cut a lot of time because our account managers weren't having to go to a ton of different platforms. But like honestly, the biggest thing that we learned from that week was all like not even just Monday. Monday is great, and I'm so glad we did it. Logan can attest to this. I was very hard-headed about it. I did not want to do it. I set up Asana, and I like was gonna cry if we got rid of Asana. We got rid of Asana like a week ago. I still want to cry a little bit, but like I may still be dragging my feet a little bit. But Monday is literally the best thing that we ever did. But also just like what all the other things that we learned in that week outside of Monday, like for example, like our onboarding, like I mentioned earlier, or just like our learning more about what our employees like versus don't like, or just really the week that we had with Angela to me was priceless. Like I would do it over again.
For
Oh,
sure.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's hard. Yeah, you're digging into aspects of your business that, like, for me, I don't like talking about finances. I don't like looking at them. It's just
Oh,
like,
who does,
I
man?
just like pass. Like, yeah, Caroline. This is why she's in the business. But like, yeah, it was hard. Yeah, it took time. Yes, fully expect all your attention and your brain effort to go when Angela comes to see you.
And I
Because
kept trying to warn you guys how hard it was going
you
to be.
you did. And I was like, I don't think it's going to be as deep as I think it is. It is. And it's deeper than you could ever possibly wrap your head around. But that's why we got a great end product, because we were willing to like be completely transparent with Angela. And like, yes, it's weird.
You put in the work with me, and so did your team.
Mhm.
Like, if we wouldn't, yeah.
I agree. And like at the end of the day, it feels sometimes strange to be like talking to this girl on the internet about all of anything that has to do with your business, because it feels so intimate at times. But the only way you can grow is by opening up and being willing to take chances and change. And like Caroline said, now we're using this data to understand like how we can grow. Like, should we be growing in X industries? Should we be, how many team members do we like really need in our business? How much work is appropriate to put on each team member? Like, there's so much amazing data that now we're not guessing to make these decisions. We're supporting our decisions by data, which is what everyone teaches, but it's cool to be able to really like see that in fruition. And I mean, even this week, me and Caroline, I think it was yesterday, we were talking in depth about different clients and different organizations we want to join or reach out to. And it's like, okay, well, does that align with our mission? Are we getting enough referrals from that organization to renew? Are we, we can see all of that right there. And the data is only going to get better and more specific over time because we're putting more data into it. So the fact that we can already get this much information a month and a half in is amazing. I'd do it 10 times over. Again, I had no idea what to expect heading into the week. The weekend after Angela left, I think I just watched movies all weekend because I was like,
Oh my God, all of us. It was.
Yeah, but like now I have such a powerful backbone to our business that it's just going to continue to get more and more powerful and stronger the more and more data we feed to it. So it's really cool.
Yes. So you kind of already started to go into this. So basically I set up all kinds of dashboards. So on things like client retention, payroll expense tracking, cost margins, month over month client count and revenue, to name a few. But the question is, which we were kind of going over dashboards most of today. So, but
yeah,
is have you been able to utilize the dashboards much yet? Obviously, like you said, in another 90 days, they're going to be even more useful with even more data in there and as accurate as possible and everything. But I guess, yeah, like you already said, you have gotten use out of them and you appreciate the data already. Is there any, like, what for both of you right now, if you had to pick off the top of your head, what's the favorite thing that you're able to track easily now?
I am gonna cheat, and Caroline, I might be reading her mind. We do that sometimes, but I would say time tracking is huge for me. Yeah, I do it. I was gonna read her mind. Because, well, for me, it's valuable because I can support my team members better when I know what they're spending the most time on. I know where things are held up. I know how to better onboard new employees. If it's something that's happening across multiple people, I know where they're feeling confident. So for me, that's super valuable. Caroline?
Yes.
I'll answer something else so we don't have the same one. But I think my next favorite one, and it's not necessarily even a board, it's more so like a view or whatever, but the cross margin profitability. Knowing which industry, knowing which industry is making us the most money, because we were going with one industry and we're like, oh, we're making so much more money with them than X industry. And it's like, oh, wait, actually, we're not. And so we were able to look at that data and see that, which before we would have never been able to see that without spending 3 days.
And we would have been making the wrong decision because in our head, we were making more money doing the other because we weren't doing as much.
I think way too often as business owners, we wing certain things that, and I get it. Like sometimes that's all we can do. Sometimes it's the best we know. But there comes a time and a place where like we can't keep doing that. Like we have to know the actual truth or we're making the wrong decisions.
Well, and it's almost like an emotional decision. Like it was like, well, I know that industry is taking way longer. And it's like, well, actually, you're wrong. because
Yeah.
the numbers
That
don't lie.
was-
So
Gotta love that eye-opening stuff.
Yeah, it really makes a huge difference, just even in the confidence in your business too. Being young entrepreneurs, sometimes it can be really hard to have confidence in what you're doing because you're in your early 20s. I mean, I was 23 when I started the 22? It's 22 when I started the business. And so you go from, oh, that's so cute, I love your little side hobby, to, now we have a team. And I'm sure you feel the same way in a lot of ways. Is like, imposter syndrome definitely creeps in, but to say here's the data and here's what it is, like Caroline said, you're not making an emotional decision. You're not saying like, what's your opinion on this, Mr. Man who's been in business for 30 years? Like, we're making decisions that are right for us because our business is completely unique. And it's the same thing we tell every person that we work on their social. Like, your data is your data. And that's why we don't compare boutiques when we work in boutiques. Like, I shouldn't be comparing my business to someone else's, even in the same industry, because our customers are different, our rates are different. And that's why having this information is so valuable.
Yeah.
A team of 50 doesn't work for everybody,
And the thing for me too, with like always having this data access easily, is like, it's a stress reliever. I mean, sometimes it can be stressful, but if it's stressful, it's because there's something wrong that you need to fix. And if you don't fix it, like, it's going to only get worse and worse and worse until it literally blows up. And then you're dealing with all the fires constantly.
Yeah. Well, and like, honestly, even me personally, like when I started budgeting at just like in my personal financial world, setting money aside, investing, all the things, and having control over knowing like this is how much I spend on groceries, this is whatever, it made me feel so in control of my life because I wasn't just throwing money out and didn't know where things were going. And I feel like it's the same thing in your business. The longer you turn your back to it, the worse the problem's going to get. So it doesn't matter if that's team members or budgeting or anything, like it's just going to exacerbate the problem.
Yeah. And a business might be fine because maybe they're bringing in a ton of money, but like, how much more profit could you be seeing if things were more efficient? And I think that's where like people think it's always about bringing in more and more money, but it's not, because what about the other side where you could be so much more efficient? Like my business brings in like half as much revenue as it once did, but we're actually more profitable than I paid myself the same.
Yeah.
And we're more profitable. Like,
well, and I think when you can do half as much work and bring in more money, what entrepreneur doesn't want that? And sometimes you look at your business and say, I want this to be an X amount of year, thing, but how much of that is actually profit? And if I can have a business that sustains itself and get to travel and do the things that are important to me or spend time with my family, like, to me, that's why every entrepreneur does this instead of working a 9-to-5. Like, that's ultimately the goal of every.
Well, that's the other thing. So higher profitability, and then like making sure your role is exactly how you want it to look, and also how you want your role, both of you, how you want your roles to look today. In 5 years, that may be different, I'm sure it will be, and it's crafting that and making sure your business supports that, so
And I think that's one thing you did a really good job of talking to us about, because I think it's easy as an entrepreneur to get into the grind mode. But like, my business is 5 years old. Like, I don't need to be grinding all the time. Like, it is okay to say like, my team can handle these things. Like, it's okay to take some time to do X, Y, Z. And I think that's one thing that I really took out of our conversation is like, it is possible to leave your business for longer than a weekend and things are not going to implode,
Yeah, especially when all the right stuff is in place, so that's easy for your team to even do.
Exactly.
Let's see. Okay, literally, hopefully now we really are almost done. So I appreciate your guys' time, and whoever's listening, I appreciate yours too. Okay, so I know during our deep dive audit, we found several other cans of worms, if you want to call it that we could work through together. Things about like sales process, client onboarding, finance tracking management, projections and goals, and things like that. Like, obviously, and we talked about this earlier, obviously you guys need to get fully comfortable and fully implemented with everything we've already worked on first. But how likely would you be to pull me in again when you're ready to work on those, or when you have other issues?
I'll let the skeptic talk on this one.
It would be a no-brainer to me. And like, even like when, like, I would say I work most in Monday, probably like getting all this just everything set up correctly. And so even like as I'm in here, I'm constantly going to Angela and being like, okay, what did I do wrong? What do you do? Like, it's just like, to me, it's like, what Angela knows and like how to set up everything, it would literally take me probably a year to do what she did in a week. And that's being like generous.
Well, to even know what we needed too.
Yeah.
Like we had no idea what we even were looking for.
I mean, I tried to take a stab at Monday one time, and that's why I was so hard-headed about it. Because I looked at it and I was like, Logan, that is so overwhelming for me. I cannot imagine what it looks like for our account managers. Turns out I was just setting it up wrong. But like, I mean, I sat there for at least a day trying to do something. I got nowhere. So like, had I set up everything that Angela has so far, yeah, it would take me forever.
Yeah. So instead of piecemealing a million things together, now we have one thing.
Oh yeah, that's
Great.
the thing too. Yeah, like let's get in there as deep as possible, even if it's painful. You know, and that's why, like, could we maybe have done a few more things that week? Yeah, but not to the quality that we did.
No,
Not-
Angela, I cannot imagine doing more than we did that week.
No,
Like, I think you were
no.
staying up to like 3:00 in the morning and back at 8:30. Like, I don't even know how you were like surviving.
Yeah.
But I think we did a ton of work. We really dug in. I'm excited to see what else we can dig into. And I know you and I just had this conversation with Caroline just a second ago. And I told you, I'm like, I'm ready to bring you back in. But mentally, I'm not quite there yet because we have to get our feet on the ground just a little bit more. And you were like, yeah, I'm not ready either.
Yeah.
Just because it is so much and like you're totally changing the way you do a lot of things. And like one little change leads to a snowball. Like there were little things that you brought up, like, oh, I like to have a communication chart because my employees, that way, if they can just go down the chart and understand like, oh, this is the problem. This is how I should communicate that. And just like even little things that you mentioned, we've been working on implementing. So like, yeah, it seems like, oh, like in your mind, like, oh, I just gave them a project management system, but you gave us so much more than that. And between the communication chart and that and the onboarding process for our new employees and just even expectations we want to lay out clearly for employees so there's just no question. Like there's so much work that we've put in over the past month and a half to make our business run smoothly. And like I'm so excited to see what else we can automate and do better and just continue to learn and grow. And I just think those things are going to come over time. And it might be a 2-year process before we get all the things implemented that you can help us with, and we're excited to continue to climb that mountain. But definitely would recommend 100 times over. I ran into someone 2 weeks ago who had questions about it, and I was like, I can't even tell you how much of a difference Angela's made in our business. If you do nothing else, at least talk to her about it in more detail because it's so beneficial to our business.
Well, and I hope like it was apparent, I'm sure it was, like how, I mean, like first of all, I don't mess around. Like I don't half-ass. Like I go there, you know, like even if it's hard for you guys to hear, or I mean, sometimes I have to remember that. I'm like, okay, remember that like this is their heart and souls, you know, but sometimes we need that because we can get so close to our own business. But the point there was just that like I really do care and I like really dig in there deep. And like I gave you everything I had that week.
Yeah,
everything
for sure.
I could possibly have to give you, my whole heart, body, soul, mind, everything. Like I gave it all. Like I laid it all out. I wasn't just like clocking in and clocking out, you know?
Yeah, well, and that was very apparent. And not only that, but also to me, what was so rewarding, inspiring, exciting is that you left your business for a week. And to my knowledge, you weren't getting phone calls, texts, messages. How do I do this? How do I do that? And to me, that showed me like, there is hope to train our team better. You know, like I can give them better systems and processes, and that's not on our team. We don't know how to necessarily like be employers because we've never been employees. So we're still learning and we're trying our best. Like, of course, we always want to have the best employee experience. Like we're learning as we go here. But to me, that was just like such a rewarding thing to see is like, okay, that can happen. I can let go of some things. I can trust some things. I can travel. I can do these things that I've wanted to do, and my business doesn't have to take a hit. Because I know like last year I traveled a lot, but my business took a financial hit on that because I wasn't there to service XYZ. But it was cool to be able to see that, firsthand, that someone else in a similar industry can do what I want to do.
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't have been able to spend a week like that with you guys if my team wasn't well oiled like that. And that's the thing is like, it's taken me years and like so many mistakes to get to this point. And I'm just like, it was really cool to be able to help you guys through my mistakes. Like, let me get something else good out of these freaking nightmare things that I went through,
Well, and we all have things to learn. Like that's what I mean, I feel like entrepreneurship is all getting pushed in the dirt and like having to scrape it off your knees. But to me, that's what's so cool about like, you're not just a consultant. You're not just someone who's an expert in SaaS programs. You're someone who actually has a business and knows firsthand how we can make these things happen. And to me, that's why I'm so glad like we had this conversation, because if not, I would have hired this random IT firm out of London who has no idea anything about me and also has never run their own business. Like these are random IT consultants that don't even know what's helpful and how to
it's
make.
not enough just to understand Monday and the technical aspects. That's just not enough. That would be like hiring my coding developer to help you. Sure, he's technical. He doesn't know any of this other stuff though. That's even more important.
No, and I'm sure he would do a fine job and set it up, but like, would it really be set up to the best efficient way like you set it up for us? And we have great team members, but if we don't give them the best tools, then what are we doing with great talent?
Yeah. Okay, so the last question, I swear, is like if somebody is thinking about working with me, like what would your biggest tips be to them to help them make their decision on whether it is right? Because it's not right for everybody to work with me.
Sure.
So what would your tips be to help them figure that out, I guess? Your best. Or about what the tips about before they work with me, like, okay, Angela's coming next week. Here's what you need to know.
Rest.
Yeah.
If they're trying, and this, I feel like Angela, this is also where you'd come in to really help them, but like where it was like a no-brainer for us to do it is because of all the platforms we were using, we weren't getting the most use out of our time. But also like we don't have the time to sit there and manually like do all these numbers. Like we needed something that would automate all of the stuff for us. So to me, that those were the big things that kind of made us make that leap. And a lot of people use Monday. So there's a reason why everyone uses it. So
yeah, that's what I kept telling Caroline. I was like, all these huge firms are using Monday.com. We're having to call it Monday.com because if we tell our girls, oh, just put that on
Monday, know.
Then they are like, wait, what? So if all these people are using this program, like there's obviously a reason. I agree with Caroline. Rest. Make sure you're coming in and being as open as you can. The more open you are, the more Angela can help you. Again, it feels weird to be that intimate with someone that like you just don't know all that well besides Facebook Messenger. But Angela really cares about your business, and that was very apparent. Even on this call today, she's like, "Man, I think about your business often." And it's just like it goes to show how much you care about our business, about our success, and giving us all the tools that you can. And that was very apparent. And have a glass of wine every night and it'll make you feel better for the next day. But overall, it was just such a wonderful experience. I would recommend it to everyone because I think it's only going to help you grow and continue to change your business and change what you're wanting to get out of it.
Yeah. And I mean, I hope too that I know it was hard stuff, but that I made it easy to talk to me, and
for sure.
I'm just super real. I mean, like I said, with this video, I was reading from my phone. Like I had to move to my bedroom because my computer wasn't like, that's me. And if you want somebody who's going to tell you they're perfect, that their ish doesn't stink, that they have all the answers that anybody could ever have in the world, that is not me. And I'm not going to like wear like a collared, like I did wear a name tag that week just for funsies. But like,
I think also like that's what made our employees comfortable to talk to you because you weren't stuffy. You didn't have like I'm only siding with Logan and Caroline, or I'm only siding with our team members. You were truly hearing both sides and helping us mesh those. And I would really tell people like, we are not our business is doing good, but how can we make it great? You don't have to be bankrupt to call Angela in to help you turn your systems around. It's just how can you learn and grow to make things even better? And I think if you're going in with that attitude, you're going to have a really successful week. But if you're, LOL, my Amazon guys dropping some dough. But if you're not going in with an open attitude and goals to improve, not just, oh, the house is burning and everything's falling down besides me, because that's not the reality. If you're bringing Angela in, you probably have a mindset of how you can get better. And I think if you go into it with that attitude, then you're only going to get better results. If you go in shaded or upset or, not willing to open up or do the work, you're not going to get out what you want to get out of it.
Very true. Very true. Okay. I will let you guys go for now. I mean, we'll book another call in a few weeks or whenever you're ready. But thank you so much for answering these questions and just for letting me help. Like I really enjoyed working with you guys. So
Yeah, we really enjoy working with you too. We're excited to see what the next 5 years hold for Talking Social and just, the things that you're putting in place to help us continue to grow.
Yes. All right. Okay. So I'll cut this off.
Yeah, that's fine.
But okay, cool. So I think we're good. Do you guys have any final questions for today?
No, thanks for all your help. I hope that's helpful. If you need anything else from us, let us know.
I think that's more than enough. I'll decide what I do, but like I might pull little snippets of the video or like into text or something. We'll see.
Whatever you want to do is totally fine. But if you need anything else, obviously we're more than happy to do it.
Awesome. All right. Well,
let me go get my dog.
Yeah, I'll email you again in the next few days with just the call book link again and any follow up because I need to think about that one thing. So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Angela.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Bye.